I sat there shocked. My inflammatory markers were over 2,000. But I was non-symptomatic. No urgency, no blood. And I felt good. Why was my inflammatory markers so high? I was sat there in the doctor's office, just going for like a routine checkup to make sure everything was fine. They asked me to do a stool sample to make sure everything was still, like, inflammation was reduced. So I didn't really expect anything of it. I sat down, obviously, just expecting the good news. Oh yeah, your inflammatory markers are low. But nope, they're over 10 times what they should be. So with people with IBD, they like it to be between 100, 150, as the doctor said to me. I was like, oh, so this is way high then. And they were a bit shocked at how high they were for me having no actual symptoms. So he said, you got no blood? I was like, no. You got no urgency? No. You've got any cramps? Any, like anything whatsoever? I was like, no, I feel great. So the doctor was like, I recommend you to go back on steroids. I was just like, okay. So you're confused to why my inflammatory markers are so high, but your first reasoning is to just tell me to go back on steroids. And as usual, the doctors like to give you this scare tactic. Oh, you better be careful. If you do not take steroids, you will get a perforated bowel. Now, perforated bowel, as the doctor explained to me, is basically where your intestines decide to basically open up inside your body. So it kind of splits and perforates and breaks open, and then all of a sudden, all your shit is inside your body. I don't think the doctor said it as crudely as that, but that's basically the whole term of it. It basically splits open, and then all the sewerage and everything leaks into your body. So I'm sat there thinking, fuck, I don't want that to happen. I don't want that to happen at all. I don't understand what's going off. But then, all of a sudden, my mind flipped. I was like, no. Once again, you're telling me I need to go on this medication, and I think there's a solution out there. And it wasn't long before I decided to start eating just beef. So when I first started, obviously trying to heal my bowels for this last time to get me into remission for the last 23 months, and if you want to do the same, top link in the description, I was sat there thinking, no, I'm going to find the solution. I started the carnivore diet, and where I only ate beef, salt and water, and all the inflammatory markers reduced, and I didn't need to go back on these stupid medications. Because everyone knows that when you're on this medication, it's not the nicest of things. You end up with a moon face, so you end fat face like this. Acne everywhere. I ended up with spots all over my face, all over my back. I had proper bad night sweats, so literally making the bed soaking. I had joint pain. All these things, which I could have got if I took these steroids, even though I was non-symptomatic from my UC. Sometimes the logic from these doctors just doesn't make sense. Now, I understand if I was in a bad way and I was proper bleeding out my ass and everything else, but instead of figuring out, I wonder if there's something else that's going on in his body, maybe we should do some extra tests. Nope. Fuck that. Let's just put him on steroids. And I know for a fact that if I did go back on the steroids, then I probably wouldn't have ever done the carnivore diet, because I would have ended up masking the symptoms from the steroids, not realizing, what kind of things were going off and what was the reason for the root cause of why I was having such high inflammatory markers. It could have been everything. It could have been a little bit of stress that I had over them couple of days running up to that thing. That could have all caused inflammation. There could have been something that I was eating that I didn't realize that was causing inflammation and causing it to be that high. But none of this was explained to me. So as usual, you feel like you're alone on this path to healing, because there's no one there that's giving you the answers to help you get into remission naturally, because all they want to do is give you medication. So as I said, I started the carnivore diet. We're in the space of a few months, Everything were fantastic. I didn't even need to even go back to the doctors to get my inflammatory markers, because at the end of the day, I knew for a fact of how well I felt and how much, obviously, the diet does for you. But I did end up going back and I did a stool sample and it reduced by half. So I knew that everything was going in the right direction. So I thought, fantastic. I haven't had to go back on steroids, because at the end of the day, when you go on the steroids, they give you like a course of about 8 weeks. And then after the 8 weeks, you go and do another stool sample. And to be fair, it didn't actually reduce as much as what I did when I was just eating beef. So I was feeling this is fantastic. Now, I'm not telling you that you should do the same. If you, you know what, stop all your medication, go, quick, get your son out there, get your son a packet of, a packet of beef and start eating that. It's your choice. If you want to stay on the medication or if you want to obviously come off it. When I did it, I was on vendolizumab, so I was even on some harsh biologicals, which was supposed to have helped obviously with inflammation and things like that. I stopped all medication and I started the carnivore diet. And if you want to start it, one of the best things I recommend is to do it for at least 30 days. And in them 30 days, you want to be eating the best quality, slow cooked beef you can have. And the reason why is because it's got all the nutrients in it that's going to help heal, seal, and recover your bowels. So if you're putting this nice fatty bit of, say, chuck roll in some water, you boil it for about an hour. Then you've got all the juices, which is like the meat broth, which then it's got all the collagen in it. It's got all the amino acids. It's got all some of the fat in it. It's got all this juiciness that's in it that you can just drink just before you have the meal. What it's like when you drink the meat broth is basically like when you get hot candle wax. So say you've got an empty cup and you go around the rim and you see it all dripping down and it seals it off. That's kind of like what it is. This meat juices, if you're drinking that first, it's kind of like that. It's like really just nourishing and sealing up things as it's going through. And then you're eating the meat, which then will cause obviously less irritation, because say if you're inflamed and you've got maybe leaky gut or you've got histamine reactions, all these things are not very pleasant symptoms. So if you can help heal and seal before you start eating food, then fantastic. You can also drink it afterwards if you want to help obviously with the amino acids and everything that's broken down in the water. That will also help you break down your food. I know within 7 days of eating this way, if you are having a flare up, all your symptoms, all mucus, all blood will stop. It's a bold statement to make, but it's done. And people have done it in the past. I've done it literally within the space of a few days. It's gone. None of these harsh medications, none of this, frantically scared, and that also makes your like symptoms worse. You'll be surprised at how well you feel from your UC in 7 days if you decided to just eat beef. Now let me know in the comments below if there's something holding you back from trying the carnivore diet, and I'll see you again soon.